wants coffee? I just made a fresh pot of coffee. Who wants coffee? Does anybody want coffee? Who wants coffee? Do you want coffee? Does anybody want coffee? Who wants, buddy, do you want coffee? I just made coffee. Who wants coffee? Who wants coffee?
Keep your rifle by your side.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and Black Rifle Coffee simply made one of the most boneheaded decisions I've ever seen. They decided to do an interview with the New York Times. An interview, by the way, that nobody forced them to do. Statements, by the way, that nobody forced them to make. And in said interview, they lumped in what I would argue is a huge part of their group of customers, people that believe someone has a right to defend themselves, with truly evil people, and essentially smearing a huge group of their customer base. A very common tactic done by woke companies. Once they get big enough, once you're in the successful people's club, suddenly people start to change. Either that or their true selves are revealed. It's difficult to know exactly because I don't know these fellows personally, but the meltdown that has now ensued on their social media account, they've been getting absolutely blasted on social media. They've been just melting down, posting, just gross things on their Twitter account, and they're reacting exactly how they shouldn't be. And it all comes from this article, and I'm not going to read this trash because essentially it's, a fluff piece for, Black Rifle Coffee. You can see a lot of people, they mention people that I know personally. Elijah Schaefer, reporter for and host for Glenn Beck's Blaze Media, whose Slightly Offensive podcast was sponsored at the time by Black Rifle, tweeted a picture with a picture, saying that Kyle drinks the best coffee in America and a promotional code for Black Rifle's website. Now, here's where it all kind of started. Black Rifle Coffee Company came out and essentially denounced, saying that, Kyle wasn't a sponsored person of them. At its face value, there's actually nothing wrong with this. There's times that a company has to come out and say, like, hey, no, just because they use our product, they're not actually sponsored by us. Now, this particular company bent the knee to somebody who clearly wasn't a customer, but that was kind of where the cracks started to show. In fact, they didn't even mention him by name. They just said, that guy from Sheboygan. And then, several months later, they came out and talked about, denounced, the limited disavowal triggered fury on the right. The people that run BRC are no different than most scammers involved in the conservative grift, a prominent activist wrote on Twitter. I can't say their name because this is YouTube, but you know who it is. I do believe that they're posers. I do believe. The coffee company is much bigger. You see all sorts of stuff. Let's actually look at the egregious quotes here. Here's how BRC's executives see people who are upset with their condemnation of Kyle. You can't let sections of your customers hijack your brand and say, this is who you are, Best told me. It's like, no, we define that. Kyle episode may have cost the company thousands of customers, but Hafer believed it also allowed BR to draw a line in the sand. Quote, it's such a repugnant group of people, he said. It's like the worst American society, and I have to flush the toilet of some of those people that kind of hijacked portions of the brand. Then again, what Hafer insisted was a super clear delineation was not clear to everyone, as Munchel's choice of headgear vividly demonstrated me. The bad behavior really makes me mad, Hafer said. I hate Proud Boy-ish people. Like, I'll pay them to leave my customer base. This is we've read this before from woke companies. I would gladly chop all those people out of my customer database and pay them to get the F out. You know what I think is hilarious isn't it funny how companies are fine? Let me use a perfect example. What I think is a perfect example what happens to Black Rifle Coffee now. Remember when Patreon started out? You know who Patreon's biggest users were? It was spicy edgelords or people who spoke against the mainstream narrative. People like Sargon of Akkad and many others were easily Patreon's largest supporters. Now, Jack Conte was happy taking his 3% of everybody who supported guys like Sargon and others, myself, who's also banned from Patreon. They were happy to take our money. Then once they reached critical mass, suddenly it was like, oh, no, we denounce. Now, did they give my backers all their fees back when they canceled my account? No. So they were fine taking all that evil money for 2 years while they were trying to build their brand. But then suddenly, once they had achieved, a level of where they were, too big to fail, so to speak, then all of a sudden they had this sudden epiphany about we can't let evil people like Sargon of Akkad use Patreon, Lauren Southern. We can't allow that. We have to ban them immediately. But again, these were the biggest users at the time. Or early on, I'm sorry. They also sell a thin blue line coffee. I asked them, which sells a thin blue line coffee, if they had considered changing the name of its Beyond Black Coffee, a dark roast it sold for many years, to Beyond Black Lives Matter. Surely that would alienate the racists, polluting its customer base. I mean, they also, by the way, this is a really bizarre thing. Hafer knew that a number of squad mates who had a St. Michael tattoo. For a time, he wore into battle a St. Michael pendant. By the way, the literal patron saint of them, that a Catholic friend gave to him. But while the St. Michael design was being mocked up, Hafer said he learned from a friend at the Pentagon that the image of St. Michael trampling on Satan had been embraced by the supreme people because it was reminiscent of, oh my God, really? Now any plans for the coffee bag had been scrapped. This won't see the light of day. This is like the OK hand symbol thing, right? A handful of bad people use this symbol for a bad thing, so the other 99 million people that use it for the totally normal thing have to stop using it. Much of these brands that target vet culture are equally cringe. Here's Grunt Style defining their customer base. But the real money is in peddling the promise of access to that elite to everyone else. The target market for high-end carbon steel survival knives, which include 7% American adults who served, but also includes the broader population of web developers and program managers who are unlikely to encounter any kind of physical danger in their daily lives, but who sport ranger beards or sleeve tattoos and talk about their EDCs. As a Grunt Style motto puts it, you don't have to be a vet to wear Grunt Style, but you do have to love freedom, bacon, and whiskey. It is cringe. It is cringe. And do you remember when the CEO of this company did an AMA on Reddit? I don't know if I could find the archive anymore, but essentially they did a AMA on Reddit in which they were completely demolished by other veterans. So bad so that they had to delete their entire user account and all their comments. I mean, I understand what he may be talking about. That people he really believes, think that their skin color makes them superior to someone else. Okay, fine. You can call that out. I think that's reasonable. But when you actually, it's just like, I remember getting emails from all sorts of coffee companies, conservative-leaning coffee companies, and I just wouldn't take the sponsorships because I thought, I wonder I want to find this because here. CEO of Black Rifle Coffee participates at AMA. Users proceed to roast his beans. I mean, the idea was that, you know, you see here, now the person has deleted, the CEO deleted their user account, but this is the post that did it. Fellower, I don't know what, is this Gulf War? GWOT vet here, sorry. Still on active duty, just at 16 years. Multiple tours in Iraq and Afghanistan. I've been supporting companies. You and your fellow BRCC leadership started it since the beginning. I'm talking pre-BRCC. I'm talking pre-Article 15. I've always loved supporting my fellow vets. I have to say, though, you guys really lost me after the Starbucks thing. It bothered me when you guys started posting memes saying that every refugee was a terrible person, but I chalked it up to the infamous vet dark humor and ignored it. But what really got to me was watching a veteran-owned organization publicly go after another organization with a veteran hiring program, ignoring the fact that Starbucks never said that they were hiring refugees outside of their former translators in the United States. Starbucks was hiring veterans before it was the cool thing to do. It really upset me to watch a fellow group of GWOT vets trash a company that was already doing the thing they claim they should be doing. Why would any other company ever start a veteran hiring program after that? All they have to do is look at Starbucks' example, hiring vets and still getting trashed on Fox News for not being patriotic enough. That's your choice. You guys decided to wade into the political arena, both with your interviews and your blog posts. Although I just noticed the one I linked to the January 2017 travel ban is now mysteriously missing. And I know it's worked for you guys. I looked at your site post Fox News interview and you were sold out of everything. I'm not trying to dump on you. That was very obviously a smart business decision, even if it rubbed me the wrong way. Anyway, I just hope it all works out best in the end. Have you guys managed to reach your 10,000 veterans hired goal? You know, and it just complete, yeah, his talk about a premium roast. I mean, yeah, they certainly appear to be just on that conservative grift. And then you see far right rushes to find new cup of coffee after mega friendly BRC denounces. It wasn't that they denounced people, I think, in particular that were bad. I think the problem is that they conflated, like, anyone that thought maybe Kyle had the right to defend himself and didn't have to submit himself to the mob, that they were also like some sort of crazy evil person. I don't drink Black Rifle coffee, but, you know, I never will. You see here, how to destroy your company wasn't one easy step. Give an interview to the New York Times trashing your customers. You see, Black Rifle Coffee Company doubled its sales by leaning into America's culture war. Now it's trying to distance itself from some of its fans. That's exactly what all these idiot companies do when they get woke. Like, do you think that somebody who puts freaking pronouns in their bio on Twitter is going to drink Black Rifle coffee? No. But I guarantee you all the people that fell for your faux we're the good guys, we're the good coffee company, they're going to go find something else. You know, they're going to go somewhere else. There's not going to be a lot of people on the left who are like, yeah, we're going to buy Black Rifle coffee now because they totally denounced the Orange Man bad people. And you see, I saw hundreds of people posting that they've canceled their subscription. You can get coffee anywhere. I doubt there's anything particularly interesting about their brand of coffee. You probably have excellent coffee roast locally. And, you know, the lesson is, here's another canceled. $44 every 30 days, 4 boxes every 30 days canceled. Stop giving money to companies that pander to your political leanings because they probably really don't care. You see yet another unsubscribe from all communication. This is, I mean, I guarantee you they're losing thousands of customers. And I hope it was worth it because screw them. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.